Great, thank you. And for our next question, now we will continue with the question and answer sessions, and we'll go to Cuba.
Members of the network. It's not actually a question, it's a comment. We agree completely with Dr. Jeffrey Sachs of the University of Columbia. If everybody would actually comply with their promises through the United Nations, actually much of the hunger and the poverty of the world could actually be mitigated, if not completely abolished. But it is clear that most of the hard-hit countries and most of the really impoverished countries really have to make a call and appeal to the entire world, not only in the times of catastrophes like in December, but also in the tsunamis of extreme poverty and underdevelopment. And we have to have a heart in this, and we cannot turn a blind eye, and that we have to receive help. And we agree completely with this video conference because we see a clear reflection of our thoughts as well, and we hope that this can help us achieve greater goals. Thank you very much.
You want me to comment on that, or you want me to?
Sure.
Oh, well, we have actual questions, but it's also at the same time that and greetings to Cuba. You gave us greetings from Cuba. The important thing is that what Professor Sachs was talking about was a wonderful utopian kind of hope that people would fulfill their promises. But as I said at the beginning of the whole program today, it will always be on people who need resources for good reasons to create the impetus for people who have resources to give. So on that happy note, I would say the countries and the organizations and the institutions in need must always articulate their needs.
I'm not quite sure where our next question is coming from, but go ahead, please.
We're calling from the University of Chihuahua, and we're here with a group of teachers and people from CONALEP, administrators. And we want to see if there are companies or foundations that donate or give help to educational institutions in the area of technology and also for equipment purposes to be able to improve the quality of education and, as a result, the quality of life.
Absolutely.
Of its alumni.
Absolutely. Yes, that's one of the priorities. The important thing is, if you remember those and refer to the sources that I mentioned in the first part of this module, you will find that there are international organizations. Offhand, any major company like Apple or like Microsoft or certain others, all of them want to advance the use of technology in education. So go to those databases, go to those sources, the Foundation Center's international funding resources, and you will find them. They're there and want to give because it looks good for them in addition to helping you.
Thank you for University of Chihuahua for asking that wonderful question. For our next question, we go to Puebla. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. This is from Sierra Norte Institute. Our question is, in this globalized world that requires that nations really have a healthy communication, what do you recommend in terms of fundraising, and how can then countries participate to help the environment? Because we've seen recently that certain countries did not want to participate in the Kyoto Protocol.
Thank you for that question. I think the key to things is community pressure. One of the things that I mentioned briefly in the second module is the need to create what I called public relations strategies. That means the placement of articles, television interviews, various vehicles that support the larger environment in which you are raising funds. So if you feel that there needs to be an effort to improve the environment, you should be helping to shape public opinion so political and other leaders see that value. The other thing that I'd like to point out, and that is a single word, at least in English, and that is the word network. What you are seeing today, after all, as we sit here in San Diego, is a network that is linking you with people all over, well, the world, really. And so what you have as an opportunity is to capitalize on the network. I mentioned the need for a circle of 10 to help support your proposal. Well, you may be saying to yourself, but I don't know somebody in this country or in this situation. In fact, you do, because you are part of a network that reaches out to countries everywhere. So in that sense, you already have the resources to get your word out and your issue before major populations.
Thank you, Sierra Norte, for that interesting question. Lima, Peru is asking the next question. Go ahead, please.
This is Professor Carlos Buenamport of the University of Ricardo Palma. In our country, we have a lot of natural resources, and they're not really valued. In that sense, the education in our population really needs a lot of development, a lot of promotional communication. What do you think about creating just parks, ecological parks in the northern part of the country where we have a lot of desert area? What would be your opinion regarding this?
My opinion is that my opinion doesn't matter. You see, for this to matter in Peru, and greetings also to you and the people who are listening with you, for it to matter, you need to do what I mentioned, and that is consult with 10 other people who may represent environmental, corporate, governmental, education, all kinds of sectors, indigenous populations in that area, and form a consortium, a circle of 10 for you, so that by the time you are through shaping your idea, it isn't yours, it's the result of your having listened to enough people. So when you go to a funding source, you have tremendous support behind you. Create a circle of 10, test the idea, come up with an idea, and see if it resonates.
Thank you. We go to Merida for our next question.
Buenos dias and good morning to all the members of the network. How convenient is it to access these resources or actually collaborate with different institutions around the world or just in your same state? How easy is it?
It's, in today's world, it is as easy as you make it. And by that I mean, think back 25, 30, 40 years ago, this kind of an arrangement, our broadcasting to you, would be an isolated situation, perhaps not even possible. Think about what you can do at a computer and how you can reach out. I said the word before is networking. That's what today's program is about. That's what the world is about. And just think of it. You have heard today from Cuba, from Peru, from Mexico, from Panama, from the Dominican Republic. You are already linked and realize that if there are needs there, there is also a huge opportunity to approach funders. People want to do good things, and you've already seen that there are needs and that you can communicate with others who can support those.
Okay, next question is coming from Mexico. Go ahead, please.
Buenos dias. Yes, good morning. This is the University of Tecnológico de Tecamac, and we're greetings from Mexico. At the beginning, you commented that there's a lot of money in the world. Why do corporations don't back up countries that have extreme poverty, creating job sources?
Well, there are enormous problems. They can't be solved all at once. There will always be difficulties, but they can do things one step at a time. What you have to do, as I said before, is to articulate something that will resonate with them, make them want to give, and eventually we can make the world better. Not perfect, but given a proposal, you can create a model, create an example, and hope that others will follow.